A massive tech announcement for the Toronto area. We are the only Canadian city making the shortlist for Amazon's multi-billion-dollar second headquarters. Let's talk about this right now with our Minister of Transportation. What? No. Minister of Economic Development and Growth, Stephen Del Duca. My sparring partner is gone from the Transportation Ministry. I can't argue with you about economic growth.
Well, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
It is. Welcome. And the new portfolio just kicking in a day and a half ago?
Yeah, it was Wednesday afternoon, so I'm still brand new in the job.
And what a great thing to have fall into your lap for the first time.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, it was sort of a bittersweet announcement because everyone is saying, okay, you know what, but we don't have a chance.
Well, listen, you know what, we have to be optimistic for a couple of reasons. One is it's outstanding news for Ontario and for the Toronto region. I think it's also a very clear indication that the investments our government has made, particularly in education, but in infrastructure, healthcare, and so much more, has really positioned us well to be leading at this. And listen, originally 238 cities or regions across Canada and the U.S. applied. We made it to the top 20. We're going to keep working hard to make sure that we are positioned as strongly as we can to compete and hopefully be successful. But the really good news is that not only has Amazon recognized that we're moving in the right direction and we're already leading here in Ontario and here in the Toronto region, but the steps that we have taken to help lure companies like Amazon will help us continue to grow that innovation ecosystem that is so important to our future economy. So it's actually really, it's a thrilling indication that we're going in the right direction.
Now, you've never heard me say this before, but I agree with you. Because, yes, it does. It allows Toronto, so, I mean, just to have made the final cut, there's a political climate here that it's not just the economic climate, it's the political climate too that we're going to be fighting against. So as you move into this new portfolio, I want to ask you about this. What can we do, or what are you prepared to do, or are you already seeing some of the effects of this protectionist policy that seems to be now really taking over the U.S.? The fact that major companies are going to have a hard time convincing the White House that they want to locate outside the U.S., maybe here in Ontario.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a concern. Ontario, we are a trading jurisdiction, and we have done well with trade. It's one of the reasons that our economy has continued to grow. Let's also remember, lowest unemployment rate in 17 years right now here in the province. GDP amongst the leaders within the country. All very good news. There are some concerns. We don't know exactly what's going to take place with respect to the NAFTA talks, but we're going to be at the table. We're part of the conversation. I know that our premier has literally been across the border, meeting with people in Washington, meeting with governors, particularly in those states like Ohio and Michigan and Indiana, where there's so much crucial cross-border relationships, cross-border trade, particularly in the auto sector. So she's really rolled up her sleeves and been engaged on these matters. We're going to continue to work hard on that as well. But clearly, Amazon deciding that we should be in the top 20, the only Canadian jurisdiction to make it to the top 20, is fantastic news and a real validation for the decisions that we've made as a government.
Anything we might do to sweeten the deal in the meantime?
You know,
listen,
we're Ontarians. We know what it takes. You got to keep working hard. You got to keep your sleeves rolled up, your nose to the grindstone, and focus on the positive outcome. And that's what we're going to continue to do.
All right, Stephen, thank you very much. Stephen Del Duca, Minister of Economic Development and Growth. Let's go upstairs. Here's Melanie.